On a cool evening, Aaron was heading home in his sleek Porsche, reflecting on the successful day he had. The thrill of closing a substantial deal filled him with pride and satisfaction. He navigated the familiar streets with ease, enjoying the purr of the engine and the cool night air streaming through the open window. Little did he know, his journey home would soon take a dramatic turn. Unbeknownst to him, when he got pulled over by Officer Daniels, everything was about to change drastically. The officer's subsequent actions, captured on a hidden recording, would be nothing short of shocking. Chapter 1: The Dusk and the Police Lights. Aaron skillfully navigated through the busy city streets in his Porsche 911, nodding to the rhythm of the music playing from his stereo. He tapped his index finger on the steering wheel, his eyes sharp and vigilant. It had been a particularly good day. He had closed an impressive deal that promised substantial earnings. The weight of his success made him feel invincible, and the thrill of the road added to his elation. As he drove, Aaron couldn't help but reflect on his journey to success. From his humble beginnings to becoming a self-made millionaire, his story was one of perseverance and hard work. He had grown up in a modest household, where his parents worked hard to provide a comfortable life and a good education. However, Aaron always wanted more than an average lifestyle. He dreamed of financial independence and the ability to give back to his community. He soon turned onto a quieter road, leaving the bustling highway behind. This street was nearly empty, situated in a residential area with hardly any cars. He noticed there were no kids playing outside. Everyone seemed to be indoors. This made him eager to get home quicker, eager to share the day's triumphs with his family and enjoy a peaceful evening. Suddenly, red and blue lights flashed in his rearview mirror. A police car was trailing him, sirens blaring and a megaphone instructing him to pull over. Aaron was puzzled. He was sure he wasn't speeding, and his car was in perfect condition, as he had checked it himself before leaving home. Wondering why he was being stopped, Aaron sighed as he pulled over and stopped his car. He decided to take things as they came, ready to see what the officer wanted. There wasn't much else he could do. Chapter 2: An Encounter with Prejudice. Officer Daniels leaned against Aaron's Porsche, asking for his license and registration. Aaron saw the name tag on the officer's breast pocket. After a few seconds of looking at him, Aaron asked why he was pulled over. Daniels ignored the question, telling him to shut up and provide the documents. Realizing Daniels was going to be trouble, Aaron reached into the glove box, handed over the documents, and the officer began examining them slowly. Daniels asked for insurance papers and proof of ownership, and Aaron provided everything without hesitation. But the officer, suspicious, asked how Aaron could afford a Porsche and his expensive designer clothes and wristwatch. Daniels implied that a young black man like Aaron could only fund such a lifestyle through shady means. Aaron's heart sank. It was clear he was dealing with a racist cop. He knew he had done nothing wrong, and Daniels was out to make his life difficult just because he was black. At that moment, Aaron almost wished he had a broken taillight or something minor so the officer could give him a fine and let him go. But he knew he would be there for a long time. Daniels stepped away from the car and told Aaron to get out, playing out Aaron's worst fear. Aaron came from humble beginnings. His parents weren't poor, just average, providing a comfortable life and a good education. However, Aaron always wanted more than an average lifestyle. In high school, he met a friend who was into cryptocurrency. Without telling his parents, he saved his allowances, sold his bicycle, and bought a few Bitcoin. He started trading and slowly gained returns. By the time he finished high school, he had doubled his portfolio. Then, Bitcoin's price surged, and Aaron watched his wealth grow exponentially. He became a millionaire, but he wasn't satisfied. He diversified his investments into real estate and took bigger risks in trades, resulting in higher rewards. He also started social media accounts, making videos about his investments and teaching others how to trade and invest. His clear and easy-to-understand videos attracted many followers, and he monetized his accounts, earning substantial income. Aaron bought a house for his family, a Porsche for himself, and other expensive items. He was proud of his achievements and vowed to keep working hard. Despite his success, people were always suspicious of his wealth, especially because he was young and black. They refused to believe his legitimate explanations, assuming he was a criminal. This was why, when Officer Daniels asked him to step out of the Porsche, Aaron complied without resistance. He knew the cop could escalate things if provoked. Chapter 3: The Search for Nothing. Aaron followed Daniels' orders, placing his hands on the hood and spreading his legs. Daniels searched him thoroughly, insisting he would find a weapon. Aaron remained calm, knowing this was a situation he had to endure. However, finding nothing, Daniels stepped away from the young man with a look of frustration. The more he came up empty-handed, the angrier and more frustrated he became. Still unsatisfied, he ordered Aaron to open the trunk. At this point, Aaron realized things had gone too far and he'd been compliant for too long. Pulled over without cause, Aaron knew the officer was harassing him because of his skin color. He asked Daniels why he had to open the trunk and what exactly the officer hoped to find. Daniels, with his hand resting on his firearm's handle, warned Aaron to cooperate or face arrest. Seeing the officer's hand on his gun, Aaron decided to control himself but refused to be trampled on. He opened the trunk and discreetly activated his phone's camera to record everything. Daniels searched the trunk thoroughly, pulling out mats and inspecting every inch but found nothing. The officer insisted Aaron was hiding something and doubted his legitimate source of income. At that moment, Aaron snapped. He reminded Daniels that he was a crypto trader and investor. And it was frustrating that in the 21st century, people like Daniels couldn't accept a successful young black man. He pointed out that everything Daniels had done since pulling him over was illegal, including the search without probable cause and the doubt about his livelihood simply because of his race. Aaron declared he was proud of his accomplishments and would continue to flourish despite efforts to put him down. Daniels, unable to arrest Aaron, stood quietly, his face a mask of anger. With a hiss, he got into his car, started the engine, and deliberately drove into the rear of the Porsche. Daniels then wound down his window, grinned, and told Aaron he couldn't do anything about it before driving off, leaving Aaron in a cloud of dust. Chapter 4. The Viral Outcry. Feeling hurt and traumatized, Aaron managed to get home but couldn't shake the experience. Realizing that staying silent would only lead to more victims, he uploaded the recording to all his social media platforms, detailing the encounter. By morning, the video had gone viral with staggering shares, likes, and comments. Outrage poured in as people discussed Daniels' actions, and other victims of the officer began sharing their stories. For days, the incident was a trending topic. People identified Daniels' station and flooded it with emails demanding his termination. Despite the initial silence from the station, the public's persistence led to protests outside the station with placards demanding Daniels be fired. Realizing they couldn't ignore the situation, the station suspended Daniels indefinitely, confiscated his badge and firearm, and issued an apology to Aaron and all victims of police brutality. The protests ceased as people celebrated justice being served. Chapter 5. Legal Battles and Triumph. But Aaron wasn't done. Now that Daniels was a civilian, Aaron sued him for property damage and discrimination. With overwhelming evidence and public attention, Daniels had no chance. He was fined heavily for the car repairs and damages, marking a major victory for Aaron. Aaron was pleased that justice prevailed and the incident brought even more publicity, increasing his followers and earnings. Despite Daniels' efforts to bring him down, Aaron emerged victorious. Yet he remained aware of the sad truth: many victims never got to tell their stories or didn't survive the ordeal. Aaron vowed to always stand against discriminatory cops, using his platform and resources to ensure justice. Proud of his heritage, Aaron knew nothing would ever change that. Chapter 6. A Community Uplifted. Aaron's story didn't just end with his personal victory. It sparked a movement within his community. Inspired by his courage and determination, many people began to come forward with their own stories of injustice. Aaron used his platform to amplify these voices, ensuring that they were heard by a broader audience. He collaborated with local organizations dedicated to fighting racial discrimination and police brutality. They organized community events, legal aid workshops, and educational programs to empower others. Aaron's influence grew, and his efforts started to bring about real change. Policies were reviewed and new measures were implemented to ensure better accountability within the police force. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. Aaron's success also brought about a personal transformation. He realized that his journey wasn't just about his own achievements, but also about making a positive impact on society. He continued to diversify his investments, but now a significant portion of his wealth was directed towards philanthropic endeavors. He established scholarships for underprivileged students, funded community centers, and supported small businesses. Aaron's commitment to giving back resonated deeply with his followers, inspiring many to contribute to the cause. His story was no longer just about overcoming adversity, it was about building a legacy of empowerment and justice. Chapter 8. Reflecting on the past, building the future. Years later, Aaron stood at the helm of a successful investment firm, his influence and wealth having grown exponentially. Yet he remained grounded, always remembering the journey that had brought him here. He often spoke at events, sharing his story and encouraging others to pursue their dreams while standing up for their rights. His encounter with Officer Daniels had been a turning point, not just for him but for many others who had been inspired by his resilience. The incident had highlighted the deep-seated issues within society, but it also showed that change was possible through unity and persistence. Epilogue. Aaron's story became a beacon of hope and a call to action for many. It was a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of standing up for one's rights. What a heartbreaking story. Who could have thought Daniels would go to such lengths? What would you have done in Aaron's shoes? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. See you in the next video. The ripples of Aaron's actions continued to spread, creating a wave of change that was felt far beyond his community. His legacy of justice and empowerment lived on, inspiring future generations to strive for a better, more equitable world.